Oh my goodness, excuse me. Hi, it's Mary. Welcome to the Paper Turtle. I think that might be the first time I've spoken this morning. I am going to do something a little bit different today. I have had, or not to me directly, but I've seen a lot of comments on some of the Facebook groups about what do you do with your journals? How do you use your journals? Are they just something pretty to sit on the shelf, or do you do something with them? So I thought I would show you my own journals that I've made for myself and show you how I use them. And maybe give you some ideas on what you can do with your journals, or ideas that you can suggest to people that you make your journals for. So I'm going to start with the first ones that I've made, and I do not remember what order I made them, but I do know that pretty sure that this was my very first journal. This one is made out of a like a granola bar box, and it's covered with scrapbook paper, and I did sew the signatures in. I did them, I don't know how I did these things. It's the ends of them ended up on the outside, which is, I mean, that's fine. I've done more than one that way. It was, I don't know, it was the first time I did it, so I wasn't really sure what I was doing, I think. And all of my journals really are a work in progress. I don't have one that I've actually finished. I just continuously work in them. This one was my first one. It was an experiment, so it truly is a junk journal in that I put, this is a clothing tag. I didn't even decorate it. A lot of junk, leftover scrapbook stuff, things like that in here. Some of the pages are just kind of artsy pages with magazine cutouts. Like I said, this was just an experiment. I put in an article when David Cassidy died. And so this one is just, I don't know, bits and pieces of things that I had laying around, or things I wanted to just play with and see how they were going to work, what I was going to do with them. Stickers. It's really, I don't even know what these were from. And like I said, it's kind of an ongoing thing. I just stick stuff in here. It's really not anything, I don't know. This was a card somebody made me, I think. Yep. So there's like just all kinds of different, you know, I was experimenting with a stencil and different things. Something I had laying around my room for years. A tag I experimented with. I was just learning. So that's that one. Boy, I haven't looked in here in a while. That's an interesting one. I glued that in there. I don't think I made that. I think somebody gave me that. So that was my first one. Total experimentation, total playing around, lots of junky junk, stuff like that. Still kind of fun. I like to look at it and every once in a while, and I guess I should keep working in it because there's loose things in there that need to be put in. But that was my first one. So that was kind of fun. Then I don't know which of these was my next one. This one I made with a book cover. And I covered it in this fabric that, boy, it's dark. It's black, so it attracts everything. And this one, let me see what I'm using this one for. This is another one I haven't looked in a while. This I made a button closure, and I tried really hard to get it to go into a hole, but the book was too thick. So I learned if I want to do that, I have to have the shank on the button to be long. What was I using this one for? I don't know. I think I was just making this one pretty. Just trying different things. And you know, as I look through it, there are things in here that I did that, like, you know, this and that, making a pocket out of a tag. I forgot that that was something that I did. You know what I mean? So it's really a good idea to have an idea book. And I do have one. I'll show you that later. This one, I guess I'm just sticking stuff in. This could become another idea book. I do have some. Look at that tag. That's pretty. I did do some pretty things in here. Oh, except that came through the bottom. That's kind of cool how I did that. This is an envelope, but it's attached with a picture, another piece of paper to make the hinge. And this is the flap of the envelope is under here. Huh. I'm glad I'm looking at these. I'm not going to do a whole flip through here. I think this is just a Be Pretty kind of book. It doesn't look like I've journaled in here. But boy, I've got some good ideas in here. Some pretty tags. I need to go back and look through here again. Get some ideas. This is a... You know, you can do anything with paper. You can create any kind of flips or journaling spaces or anything. You just got to play around with it. This is pretty much a blank slate. I used a punch on the top of this pocket. Yeah, I did some experimenting in this book. I like it. I need to pull it out more often and look through it. Very nice stuff I have in here. I'm surprising myself. Oh, that's pretty. With that little envelope there. And it's a pocket too. Well, so far I haven't told you much about how I use my journals, just how I've made them. But, you know, that's what you can do. You can just make a pretty journal, just to have pretty stuff in it. That's okay too. So that's this, and maybe I'll use it at some point for something. I don't know, maybe record my life history or something. One thing I did learn with this journal, I have to watch the size of my pages. As you can see, my pages are all sticking out from the ends of the cover, which it's okay. It still works. But I would rather the cover be longer than the pages. So that's something I do remember when I made this, that I was like, oh, wow, I really messed that up. It's not a matter of it being messed up. It's a matter of whether you like it that way or not. So that was journal number 2. And I have these 2 little ones, and I don't know which one I made first, but we'll just take a look at them. They're very similar. They're made from, this is cardboard of some type. A food packaging probably. And my intention with this one was, you know those books that they have where they ask you questions? They give you prompts and they ask you questions and you answer them. And a lot of it is geared towards like grandmothers to, you know, leave behind your story for your grandchildren or whatever. Well, I took one of those books and I cut out a whole bunch of the questions. Just like this. What character trait have you seen in someone else that you would like to have had? Was there any professor who made a special impression on you, good or bad? This particular book that I used had tons and tons and tons of questions, and they were different. A little bit different than some of the other books that you see. So I cut those questions out, and in this book, I'm using them as journaling prompts. So this particular one, did you go to the library? So I journaled on here about my library and my time as a child going to the library. And that's what I intended this book to be, was to answer some of these questions and just have a little bit of stories about myself in here. I may actually transfer those questions over to the other journal. I like the other journal better because it's bigger. But that's what this was going to be. I didn't get very far with the journaling. You know, it's here for me to work on whenever I feel like doing it. I'm trying to find another one where I did journal, because I know I did more than one. This one I was going to do, I think I put the question in but never answered it. Yep. I made this little card. It says, what time did the mail come? Can you remember getting anything in the mail that made you particularly excited? And I was going to journal about how I had pen pals and how I loved my pen pals and that kind of stuff. But I haven't done the journaling, so there it sits. So I think this might have to be a project sometime, is to get moving on this. But I think I will use it in the bigger journal. Where did you go swimming? I was going to answer that one. So I was prepared to do this journal like that, but I just haven't gotten very far on it. On the journaling part, anyway. But that's an idea for you, is to take those questions from one of those books. You don't have to use the book. You can if you want to, but I chose to use the questions in my own journal that I made. And that's what this one was supposed to be. Oh, you know, there's just not enough time. There's not enough time in the days and the weeks to do the things that I want to do. This one is a similar size, and this one was made from a book, a small book. As you can see, it's a smaller journal. It's got one signature in it. And what was I going to do with this one? It does not look like I've used it as a journal. Isn't that pretty? That's a tea bag. In the background is a tea bag, and there's the little tea tag. I liked that. I need to do some more of those. I'm not sure what I was doing with this one. I don't see any journaling in it. Yep, I have no journaling in it. I'm not being very helpful, am I, in what to do with your journals? Books I want to read. Not even filled in. But that's a good idea for a journal, is to keep track of the books that I read. And that maybe that's what I was intending to do in here, but again, I like this journal. It's pretty. It has some pretty things in it. But I've not done anything with it. It's kind of sad. Use your journal. Use it to record anything. Your books, your trips, your kids, your whatever memories you have. Anything. I think the tassel was an experiment. I was learning how to do it. Came out not too bad, I think. Okay. So those are the journals that I am not actually using on a daily basis. Now I'm going to show you the journals that I do use currently. But before I do that, I want to show you, this is my granddaughter's journal. We made this together, and it kind of saddens me because she hasn't done anything else in it. And I'm trying to encourage her to, but whenever she's here, I have all 3 girls here, and it's hectic and it's busy, and we never really have time to pull out the journals and work on them. But this is some painty papers. But we put this journal together. It's made from a book, a good-sized book, or a notebook, I think it was. And she picked out the paper to go in it. And we put it together. That's her. Isn't she cutie? She's my cutie. And it's just, I've been trying to encourage her to do something in it, and we haven't done anything yet. So it's all just blank pages at this point. But if I can ever get her to work in it, it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time in this, I think. I'm not even sure what to encourage her to put in it. I just want her to try it. Maybe her art. She likes to do art. So if I can get her to do her art in there, that would be good. Okay, so the next ones that I'm going to show you are ones that I do use on a regular basis. This one is my idea book, and it is also where I'm keeping track of my racks and swaps and Happy Mail and things like that. So I have to be careful with this. There are addresses in here. I'm going to take this piece of paper and try to, a piece of paper somewhere, and try to cover them as I flip through it. All my pieces of paper I have over here that I'm reaching for are all full of glue. They're my glue papers. I'll just use this. I think hopefully it's big enough. Okay, so this was an old, I don't know if it was actually a Trapper Keeper, but it was something of a folio like this where you would keep a notebook in it. And it has this magnetic clasp. The spot where the magnet was all worn off, so I just covered that with lace. And there was a date, I think it was like 2018 or something like that on here, so I covered that up too. And I like it. I think it's really cute. I don't know what'll happen as it gets fatter as far as the closure goes, but I'll worry about that when the time comes. So in here is basically where I keep cards, notes, things that came in Happy Mail that people have sent me. There's some addresses in here. I'm keeping track of what people send me. This is an envelope that somebody sent me. She's stamped and colored on it. It's so cute. I love her mail. And I have samples in here. This is my sample book. This is a tag that I got in a swap one time, and I absolutely love it. I don't know why. It's nothing real fancy. It's got wallpaper on the back and napkin on the front on the wallpaper. And it's just, I just think it's an adorable tag. I love it. So I keep it in here. Things that I do following other videos and tutorials. I'll do one to keep in here. This is a little matchbook thing. I wrote the measurements up there so I know how to remake it. Things like that. That's what goes in this journal. I have addresses over here. There's, I keep some of the notes, some of the return addresses from the envelopes, pieces of the envelope if they're decorated, things like that I put in here. This is just a bag somebody sent me. I liked it. And Over here is where I keep track of the racks that I have sent and received. I have a pocket down here, let me see, with a list of people in it. List of swaps. Here's a, this was one of my experiments. I was trying to do like a specimen card. I thought it came out pretty cute. And there's journaling room on the back. So I put it in here as a sample thing. Some of the things that I saw in that first couple journals that I just looked at, I need to do again and put in here because some of that stuff was really fun. A postcard somebody sent me. This is another example thing that I saw on a YouTube video. Pam at the Paper Outpost, I believe. So there's not a lot in here right now, but that's what I use this for. I just liked the Christmas card somebody sent me. And I think most of the rest of this is pretty much blank right now. Nope, there's my cross-legged pocket. I have a video on that. And that's, yeah, that's pretty much it for now. But that's what this is. This is to keep track of my mail and to put my samples and examples in. Fun book. Let's see. This one is my 2019 journal that I'm still working in. I'm a little bit behind. It's made from an old cookbook, a ring-bound cookbook, and I covered it with this beautiful fabric. I love it. Covered the spine with this fabric. And it basically, what I like to do, boy, I have all this stuff I have to put in here. Wow, I'm so behind. Oh my goodness. What I like to do for my own journals is I use it as kind of a combination journal scrapbook. I record things that I do throughout the year and, you know, maybe cards that I've received or things like that. Here's a page about the movies I went to that year. And this is about a winery. It's a fold out. A winery that we went to. And I haven't done the journaling like I'm supposed to. From Panera Bread. I have, let's see. Oh, where's the stuff I did? Well, this is from a Chinese restaurant that we love to go to. It is not open now because of COVID, but we loved it. So I have all the little fortunes from it. This is another wine trip that we took. And I plan on putting pictures in there. I don't know where my pictures are. This is the tasting sheet with my notes on it. My 2020 journal that I'm going to show you. Where is my 2020 journal? I didn't pull it out. I have to find it. Oh, I see it. Okay, I have eyes on it. My 2020 journal that I'm going to show you is a better example. Birthday cards that I got. I put in here. This is, I don't know. Birthday cards. Okay, here's a good example. This was a state park we went to. So I like to put the pictures in and decorate and journal. So it's kind of like a combination scrapbook journal type of thing. That's how I like to use my journals. Now, this is a 3-ring binder journal that I wanted to try. And I have to say, and maybe that's why I have so much loose stuff in here, I wasn't crazy about using it. And I probably won't do another one for myself because I don't feel as though it can hold as much. You're limited by the size of your rings here. As you can see, it's almost full. Depending on what you're going to use it for. It might be just perfect for whatever you're going to use it for. I felt for me that it just, I don't know, I didn't really care for it as much. Now, there were some advantages to it. You can move your pages around. You can create pages. You're not as limited. Once your pages are bound in a regular bound journal, that's where they sit. Here, you can move them around. I can stick a page in between here if I want to. So, in that respect, it's good, and it's better than a bound journal. All depends on what you yourself are going to use it for. For my purposes, I find that I kind of like the bound journal better. So this was 2019. Now, 2020 is also still a work in progress. I didn't even finish the cover on this one yet. But look how fat it is already. And it's not finished. I should have made it a little bit bigger, but I didn't. This was another experiment. All my journals I try something new in, because what better way to try it than in your own journals, right? I tried a hidden spine, and I kind of messed up on it, but I worked with it and I fixed it to get it to where it would work. And I know what I did wrong, and the next one that I did a hidden spine, I did a little bit better. Not my favorite spine to do. But this is 2020. This was my opening page, my journaling page. And then I did this type of thing where I put in a picture of something that we did and I journaled about it. And I've done that throughout the journal. And that's what I use this journal for. The movies, they were cut short. That was all we saw. I think I have one more to put in that I didn't put in yet. That we went to after the theaters opened back up for like 2 weeks. Maybe they were open, then they shut down again because they didn't have any movies to show. So, yeah, I'm afraid for our movie-going days. Last year's Super Bowl. Today's Super Bowl Sunday, by the way. I don't know if I'm going to get this actually up there today. If not, it'll be up tomorrow. But anyway, that's how I use my journals currently, is as kind of a combination scrapbook journal. And you can use different techniques in it. And there's a little flip up where I put my journaling, and you know, I've got the washi tape, and I've got some trims and all the other things that you put in a journal. This is where I keep my cards, all my coronavirus journaling. Oh my goodness. And I have room for more because I'm really not done journaling about it because it's not done yet. I did journal throughout the year on there. This was a little day trip we took. It's my girls in our pool. I was going to journal about what we do when they come to visit, and I haven't done that yet. So that's what I use my journals for. Birthday cards. These are cards that people made that I didn't want to glue in. My granddaughter's birthday, I took her to get her ears pierced. So, as you can see, there's not, I also keep the menus from the restaurants we go to, because, you know, they all have takeout menus now, paper menus that they throw away. So I take them, I put them in my journal. My sample ballot from the election, woohoo, gotta have that in there. And a lot of blank pages still. Oh, this was an article about a Raggedy Ann collector who passed away and they auctioned off her collection. It was a big deal in the Raggedy world. My recipe for my cheesecake. To put that in there somewhere. And then I think the rest of this is... Nope, I got some more menus. I love that. So that is my 2020 journal. And that is how I use that journal. Then, my 2021 journal, I wanted something a little bit bigger because, you know, I have the cards that I put in there, birthday cards and stuff. I also have pictures that I want to put in there. Almost scrapbook size, but not quite. I haven't done anything in here yet, except for this title page that I didn't even journal on yet. That's it. A bag that I'm going to put in there somewhere. I haven't done anything in here yet because, why? I haven't had time. I'm working on a project, and when I'm working on a project, I get kind of focused on that, and I have this one-track mind that can only work on that project, and so I haven't done anything except this. So that's my 2021 journal. I have one more journal type thing that I want to show you, and this is probably the most fun. This is my glue book. Now, you may have seen some other people doing these. This one is made from a composition notebook. And I got the idea from a couple of YouTubers, but the one I think that has, to me, the best example of this is Dawn at Let's Make a Mess with Dawn. Check out her YouTube channel. She hasn't been doing this. She calls it her Fatty Patty. She hasn't been doing it as much lately. But if you go down to some of her older videos, she does a lot of them where she's working in this glue book. And this is like so much fun. And I want to do more in it. And I think I'm going to do some videos of me working in this. And basically, you just glue in it. You just have fun and you glue in it, or you can paint in it, you can draw in it, you can color in it, you can do anything in it. And you just kind of go a little bit crazy in it and put weird stuff and do weird things and make weird pictures. You can collage in it. You can make it like very ordered and symmetrical if you want, or you can just go crazy and have no rhyme or reason in it. And my goal for this book is for me to kind of be a little bit more spontaneous in it. And that's hard for me to do because, you know, was primarily a scrapbooker, so everything is kind of ordered, and I would make sure that everything was spaced just right, and you know, even just to the teeniest little slant on the page or something. Everything had to be perfect in my scrapbooks, to the point where it was like just too much perfection. This book is my non-perfection book where I can just slap things on the page. And so I want to work more in this. And the idea is to get it like really, really fat and really thick. So you probably will see some videos of me just playing around in here. And I really encourage you, if you don't have one of these, it doesn't have to be a composition notebook, but they're cheap. You can get them for $1 at the dollar store. They hold up amazingly well, surprisingly. And you don't need anything special. You don't need anything. You don't have to go out and buy anything. You just, whatever you happen to have on hand. Magazines, books, junk. This is where you really use your junk mail. Just whatever. Look at candy wrappers, ice cream wrappers. I put everything in here. Envelopes. I mean, just magazine cutouts. You name it, it goes in this book. I need to show you a page where I've did a little bit of conscious collaging. That one a little bit, but you can be really random or you can be very deliberate if you want to be. Now I can't find one where I was deliberate. Probably because it doesn't look like I'm deliberate. Although I kind of like this page. That's pretty, but that's mostly just a magazine page. I added a few little things here and there, but mostly it's one page. Here's my pink page. There's a YouTuber. Oh gosh, who's doing it? I can't, oh my goodness, I can't remember who's doing it. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. She's more of an art person than a junk journaler. And she's doing a challenge, I guess you would call it, where each month she assigns a different color. It's a Facebook group too. She assigns a different color and you do a page with just that color. I did this a while ago. I didn't do this because of her. I did it way before her idea came out, but she is doing it. And I think last month was red. So everybody, you know, they do their red pages and then they post the pictures on the Facebook group. So I had done this long before that. And this was my pink page. And I also have a blue page in here somewhere. So seeing her actually do it on Facebook, it prompted me to keep going. I'll do other colors, not necessarily following her colors because I've already started doing it. Oh, the blue I think might be here. Yeah. So I'm going to continue. I have blue and I have pink and I've started a green somewhere. And I think that I'm just going to just do that with different colors. I have this one's my art page. Anything I find that has to do with art is going on this page. Look, I have this creative destruction. This was from clothing. I'm trying to figure out a way to hang it in here. I think it's really cool. That's a cool tag. I don't know what it came off of. A shirt or something. So anyway, this is like, I think this is my favorite because there's no rhyme or reason to it. And you know, you're not going to make a mistake in this type of thing. You're just going to do your thing. And you just do your thing. So I encourage you, if you don't have one of these books, start one. And you don't even have to use a composition notebook. Just grab an old book that you have and use that. Anything at all. And you just glue stuff into it. Or you write in it, or draw in it, or whatever you want to put in it. Anything. It's a paint chip from one of the stores. I thought that was like the prettiest paint chip. Isn't that a gorgeous paint chip? I love that. This is just an embossed piece of paper I got in Happy Mail. I don't know what I'm going to do with it beyond this. I'll do something with it, but I liked it. So put it in here for safekeeping. So those are my journals and how I use them. I hope that was helpful to you to give you some ideas of what you can do in your journals. Mostly just relax and have fun with them. You know, they're your own journals, the ones you're making for yourself. They don't have to be perfect. They just have to be you. So just enjoy them and have fun with them and be creative and use that as your opportunity to experiment. And I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. Please hit subscribe and the notification bell so you know when I put up new videos. And come back and we're going to work in this one day. Maybe maybe later on today I'll get a chance to pull it out and do some things, and I'll have the video up in a few days. We'll see. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.